As 2025 quietly moves toward its final stretch, Tesla has crossed a line most people didn't even realize existed. For years, autonomous driving has lived in the realm of promises, demos, and carefully controlled tests. But now, something fundamentally different is happening. Elon Musk has openly stated that Tesla's Robotaxi is already driving on public roads without a safety driver, without remote supervision, and without a human ready to take over. In Austin, the car reportedly took Musk himself across the city with every decision made entirely by AI, no backup, no overrides. And that single detail changes the entire conversation, because autonomy isn't theoretical anymore. It's operating in the real world. What makes this moment even more urgent is that Tesla isn't slowing down. It's accelerating. Musk has previously said that the core technology behind Robotaxi, full self, is expected to officially launch in China sometime between February and March of 2026. That deadline is getting uncomfortably close. And recent moves suggest Tesla is racing the clock. The company has quietly posted urgent Robotaxi job openings on its Chinese recruitment website, a move that strongly signals expansion rather than experimentation. China isn't just another market. It's one of the most tightly regulated and competitive environments for autonomous driving. And Tesla wouldn't be hiring at this pace unless something big was already in motion. And that's where things start to get interesting. While most of the attention has been on software and timelines, Tesla's hardware has been hiding in plain sight. In Austin, multiple Cybercab prototypes have been spotted navigating downtown streets, blending futuristic design with temporary safety features. Videos show sleek two-seat vehicles driving through live traffic, sometimes even side by side, turning heads as they pass. At first glance, the temporary steering wheels and safety drivers might seem like a step backward, but in reality, they reveal something more calculated. Tesla appears to be testing these vehicles in public conditions, while preparing to remove human involvement entirely once confidence reaches a certain threshold. The design itself hasn't changed. The goal hasn't changed. Only the final guardrails remain. That confidence becomes impossible to ignore once production enters the conversation. At Tesla's 2025 shareholders meeting, Musk confirmed that Cybercab production is expected to begin around April 2026, with pilot lines potentially starting even earlier. During an internal all-hands meeting, he went even further, suggesting that Tesla's factories could eventually produce one Cybercab every 10 seconds. It sounds unreal, almost reckless, especially considering Tesla's history of ambitious timelines. But this is also the same company that turned electric cars from a niche product into a global standard. And the implication is clear. Tesla isn't building a car. It's building a transportation system designed to scale faster than anything before it. Of course, putting robots on the road means dealing with human behavior, and Tesla knows that better than anyone. That's why the company has already begun defining how people are allowed to interact with robotaxis. New passenger rules include age restrictions and cleaning fees designed to keep the vehicles operational around the clock. Minor messes, like tracked in dirt or dropped food, can result in a $50 charge, while more serious incidents like smoking, spills, or interior contamination can push that penalty up to $150. These policies aren't about punishment. They're about automation at scale. A fleet that operates without drivers can't afford unpredictability. And Tesla is clearly designing systems to manage that. Reality. Behind all of this is the technology that makes Tesla's approach fundamentally different from its competitors. Unlike companies that rely on LiDAR, high-resolution maps, and expensive sensor stacks, Tesla has gone all in on vision-based AI. Its robotaxis see the world through cameras and neural networks, processing the environment in real time the way humans do. But the real advantage isn't how the system sees. It's how it learns. Tesla's AI is trained on billions of miles of real-world driving data collected from millions of vehicles globally. Every missed turn, sudden stop, and unexpected maneuver becomes part of a constantly evolving brain. This isn't a system locked into pre-programmed scenarios. It's one that grows with experience. That learning model is what gives Tesla its biggest edge. Scalability. Most autonomous vehicles today only function reliably within tightly controlled geofenced areas. Step outside those boundaries and performance drops fast. Tesla is aiming for the opposite. a system that can drive anywhere a human can without special infrastructure or pre-mapped environments. And because Tesla uses the same hardware across its consumer vehicles, this autonomy isn't limited to Cybercab alone. Models like the Model 3 and Model Y could eventually become part of the same Robotaxi ecosystem, dramatically lowering deployment costs and expanding reach almost overnight. To support full autonomy, Tesla is also solving a problem most people overlook: charging. The Cybercab won't even have a physical charging port. Instead, it will autonomously drive itself to wireless charging pads, recharge without human involvement, and return to service. Combined with operating costs projected at around 20 cents per mile and a target price under $30,000, Tesla is clearly designing robotaxis to function like independent machines, not vehicles that rely on human labor behind the scenes. And yet, the robotaxi might only be the beginning. Elon Musk has repeatedly said that Tesla's humanoid robot, Optimus, may ultimately consume more effort and deliver more impact than self-driving cars. In his words, Optimus could become the biggest product of all time, even more common than smartphones. The difference now is that this idea no longer feels abstract. Optimus is powered by the same core AI philosophy as Tesla's vehicles, but applied to the physical world: hands, vision, movement, and decision-making unified under a single neural network. Unlike traditional robots designed for one specific task, Optimus is built as a general-purpose machine. It can learn new jobs by watching videos, including regular online tutorials, extracting motion patterns and task goals the same way humans do. With the integration of large language models, it won't just follow commands. It will understand intent. Say you're thirsty, and it knows to bring water. That kind of contextual reasoning is what makes Musk's claim so controversial, especially when he says Optimus could eventually make human work optional. Tesla is already preparing to deploy Optimus inside its own factories, with robots helping build other robots. The company is targeting at least 10,000 units next year, with Optimus version 3 expected to launch in early 2026 as the first true commercial model. And while humanoid robots might seem unrelated to transportation, the underlying message is the same. Tesla isn't just automating vehicles. It's building AI agents that can operate independently in the real world. That same philosophy extends to the Tesla Semi, a project many assumed had been quietly sidelined. But recent updates suggest the opposite. New camera placements hint at full self-driving integration, and Musk has confirmed that autonomous capability is coming. With truck driver shortages worsening and long-haul driving becoming increasingly unsustainable, autonomy isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. And if FSD can safely handle an 80,000-pound truck, the implications for global logistics are massive. Tesla's vision isn't about replacing humans overnight. It's about removing humans from roles that are repetitive, dangerous, or physically draining, while letting AI handle the load. From robotaxis navigating city streets to humanoid robots working alongside people, to autonomous trucks reshaping logistics. Tesla is quietly laying the foundation for a world where machines don't just assist humans. They operate on their own. And the real question isn't whether this future is coming. It's whether the world is ready for how fast it's arriving. And that speed is what's making people uneasy. Because while Tesla talks about autonomy as a natural evolution of technology, regulators, critics, and even some longtime supporters are asking whether society is actually prepared for systems that make life-or-death decisions without human oversight. The shift from supervised autonomy to fully unsupervised operation isn't just a technical milestone. It's a philosophical one. For the first time, responsibility is no longer shared between human and machine. The AI owns every choice, every turn, every reaction. And once that switch is flipped, there's no easy way to turn it back. This is why Tesla's recent progress has sparked so much debate online. Supporters see it as the final proof that Elon Musk's vision was right all along. That data-driven learning beats hand-coded rules. That cameras can outperform expensive sensors. That scale beats specialization. But skeptics point out that real-world driving is filled with edge cases no dataset can ever fully capture. Unexpected construction zones, hand signals from traffic officers, sudden weather shifts that confuse vision systems. And while Tesla's AI is improving fast, Critics argue that almost safe isn't good enough when there's no human fallback. What makes Tesla's approach especially controversial is that it refuses to slow down for consensus. Other autonomous companies operate in tightly controlled zones with heavy oversight, slowly expanding one neighborhood at a time. Tesla is doing the opposite. It's training a system meant to work everywhere, then gradually removing humans once the confidence threshold is met. To Musk, waiting for perfect conditions means falling behind. To regulators, that mindset feels uncomfortably aggressive. And to the public, it raises a simple but unsettling question. Who's accountable when the driver doesn't exist? At the same time, Tesla's momentum is undeniable. Stock prices have surged as investors begin to see Robotaxi not as a side project, but as a core revenue engine. Musk has openly said that the Cybercab could become Tesla's second biggest product almost immediately. If the economics work the way Tesla predicts, a fleet of autonomous vehicles operating nearly non-stop could generate revenue on a scale traditional car sales never could. Cars wouldn't sit parked for most of the day. They'd work constantly. And that alone would rewrite the business model of transportation. The implications go far beyond Tesla. If robotaxis reach true autonomy at scale, ride-hailing companies, delivery services, public transit systems, and even city planning itself would be forced to adapt. Parking demand could drop. Traffic patterns could change. Ownership could become optional rather than expected. And once people experience a world where transportation is cheap, instant, and automated, going back might feel impossible. But there's another layer to this story that often gets overlooked. Tesla isn't just testing machines, it's testing public trust. Every successful autonomous mile builds confidence. Every widely shared mistake erodes it. And unlike software bugs that can be patched quietly, failures in the physical world are visible, emotional, and hard to forget. That's why Tesla's decision to push forward without safety drivers is such a gamble. If it works, it proves autonomy has arrived. If it fails, it could slow the entire industry for years. This is also why Musk keeps tying everything back to AI itself. To him, robotaxis, Optimus, and autonomous trucks are all expressions of the same idea. Intelligence shouldn't be boxed into screens. It should move, act, and operate in the real world. And once AI reaches that level, it doesn't just assist humans, it changes what humans are needed for. That's the part that excites some people and deeply unsettles others. Because if Optimus really can learn tasks by watching videos, if it can reason through problems without step-by-step instructions, and if it can scale the way software scales, then labor itself begins to look different. Jobs that once required years of training could be replicated, improved, and deployed globally in months. Musk frames this as abundance, a future where goods and services are cheap, accessible, and unlimited. Critics worry it creates a power imbalance where those who control the machines control everything else. And yet, Tesla keeps moving forward, largely indifferent to the noise. Cybercabs keep testing. FSD keeps improving. Optimus keeps learning. The Semi keeps evolving, each piece feeding data into the same growing intelligence. From the outside, it may look like separate products, but internally, it's one system learning how to navigate the world. Whether that world is a city street, a factory floor, or a highway stretching hundreds of miles. What makes this moment so significant isn't just what Tesla has built, but what it's willing to attempt publicly. Fully autonomous systems. No safety net. No human supervision. Just AI operating in environments once thought too unpredictable to automate. Whether that turns out to be visionary or reckless is something history will decide. But one thing is already clear. The age of autonomy is no longer something we're waiting for. It's unfolding in real time, and Tesla has no intention of slowing down to make anyone comfortable. And that refusal to slow down may end up being the most defining trait of this entire era. Tesla isn't asking the world for permission to automate transportation, labor, or logistics. It's building the systems first and letting reality catch up later. That strategy has worked before. It worked with electric cars when critics said range anxiety would kill demand. It worked with reusable rockets when experts said landing boosters was unrealistic. And now, it's being applied to autonomy at a scale that affects everyday life in ways no previous technology ever has. What's especially striking is how quietly this transition is happening. There was no single announcement declaring the end of human drivers, no global countdown, no dramatic reveal. Instead, autonomy is slipping into the world through software updates, prototype sightings, job postings, and short clips shared online. One day there's a safety driver, the next day there isn't, and suddenly, the idea of a human behind the wheel starts to feel optional rather than essential. This subtle rollout may be intentional. Radical changes tend to face less resistance when they arrive gradually. People don't panic over what feels incremental. But when you step back and look at the full picture, the shift is anything but small. Vehicles that decide for themselves, robots that learn by watching humans, trucks that drive coast to coast with minimal fatigue. These aren't upgrades. They're replacements for entire categories of human effort. That's why the next year is so critical. If Tesla successfully launches robotaxi operations at scale, especially in a market as complex as China, it will validate the entire vision, not just for Tesla, but for AI as a physical force in the world. And once that validation happens, competitors won't have a choice. They'll have to follow or risk becoming irrelevant. The domino effect could be fast, unforgiving, and irreversible. Still, even Tesla acknowledges that challenges remain. Edge cases haven't disappeared. Regulation hasn't magically aligned. Public trust is fragile. A single high-profile failure could shift sentiment overnight. Autonomy doesn't get judged the way human drivers do. Humans are allowed to make mistakes. Machines aren't. And that double standard means Tesla's systems don't just need to be good, they need to be better than humans by a margin wide enough to silence doubt. But here's the twist. Tesla's AI doesn't need to be perfect everywhere at once. It just needs to improve faster than humans can. And unlike people, it never gets tired, never forgets, and never stops learning. Every mile driven by one vehicle benefits every other vehicle instantly. That's the compounding advantage Musk has been betting on all along. And it's the reason traditional comparisons miss the point entirely. Because this isn't about whether a robo-taxi drives better than you on a bad day. It's about whether a global AI brain, trained on billions of real-world scenarios, eventually becomes safer than humanity as a whole. When framed that way, the question shifts. It's no longer is autonomy risky. It becomes, is staying manual the real risk? And that question doesn't just apply to cars. It applies to factories, to warehouses, to logistics, to homes. Two jobs people once assumed could never be automated. Tesla's ecosystem is quietly testing that boundary over and over again, each time pushing it a little further than before. So as the year closes and headlines focus on timelines, prototypes, and stock prices, the deeper story keeps unfolding underneath. Tesla isn't chasing features. It's chasing a future where intelligence operates independently in the physical world, where machines don't wait for instructions but understand intent, where transportation, labor, and production become systems that run continuously, optimized by AI rather than constrained by human limits. Whether that future feels exciting or unsettling depends on where you stand. But one thing is no longer up for debate. The transition has already started. The machines are already learning, and the line between science fiction and daily life is getting thinner every single day.